Electrical vehicles boost the power sector by promoting cleaner, sustainable energy. Hello, wonderful attendees. I'm your host, Dalvinder Kaur from Lovely Professional University. Get ready to dive into today's topic, that is the role of electrical vehicles in power sector. Before we proceed further, allow me to introduce the experts of the day. Dr. Suresh Kumar, Associate Professor, School of Electronics and Electrical Engineering, Lovely Professional University. He received his PhD from Vellore Institute of Technology in 2018. His research expertise spans smart grids, microgrids, energy management, electrical vehicle integration, and power electronics. With over 15 publications in journals, conferences, and book chapters. So now I would like to introduce admission nominee also in this webinar, Mr. Ajmer Singh, Assistant Professor at Lovely Professional University, School of Electronics and Electrical Engineering, with over 10 years of teaching experience, joining us today. Before we proceed further in today's session, I would like to request everyone for any questions that you can write in the chat box or in the Q&A box, and same will be addressed from my side in the end of this webinar. And now I hand over the thanks to Dr. Suresh Kumar, and it would be an absolute delight to listen from him. Over to you, Dr. Suresh.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Yes, I hope my screen is visible to you.
No, the screen is not visible, sir. Yes.
I hope now it is visible.
Visible. You can continue.
Okay, thank you. So thank you one and all. So my name is Dr. Suresh Kumar. Currently, I am working as an associate professor in School of Electronics and Electrical Engineering. So today, the webinar topic is role of electric vehicles in power sector. So today's my discussion is about first why electric vehicles, what is the need of electric vehicles in the current scenario. So what are the advantages and what are the challenges that we need to face during these electric vehicles, and what is the role of these electric vehicles in the current electricity market, such as in power sector as well as power systems. So first of all, before proceeding to the role of electric vehicles in power sector, first we need to discuss what is the need of the electric vehicles, why electric vehicles. Okay, so today's scenario, two important things. First one is we need to generate the electricity as per the requirement of the country. So any country GDP is totally depends upon how much electricity they are generated and how effectively they are providing electricity to the customers as well as to the people, those who are living in the country. But up to now, the total electricity generation is majorly depends upon the thermal power generating stations. But when the years is going on, the availability of the coal is not up to the mark. Maybe up by the year 2050, the availability of the coal is almost is not possible, and we are already importing the coal from the other countries. We need to spend a lot of money for importing the high grade coal and to generate the electricity by using thermal power plants. And second important aspect is nothing but air quality index as well as the emissions that is produced by these centralized power plants such as thermal power generation stations or nuclear power plants. So the second important aspect is nothing but the number of vehicles such as IC combustion based vehicles, those who are running on the road. So that creates a huge pollution. That pollution is very, very important. If you are not addressing these pollution challenges that is faced by the country. So one important aspect is nothing but the availability of the fuel, such as petrol, diesel. So up to how many years this petrol and diesel is available. The second important aspect is nothing but the number of vehicles, such as IC based vehicles that is running on the current scenario, how many vehicles are running, how much amount of the pollution these vehicles is producing. So ultimately, as engineers, as a society, we need to think about what is the role of these electric vehicles, why we need to promote electric vehicles, why the government is taking suitable step towards to the EV. So the first important aspect is nothing but the climate change, and second important aspect is nothing but the emissions such as CO2, SO2 and dangerous emissions that is produced during these vehicles is traveling, and the electricity that is produced from the thermal power stations. So ultimately, we need to think about the other possible resources and other possible aspects. One such important aspect is nothing but the EV. EV plays a crucial role, electric vehicles. So because the fuel required for the EV is nothing but the electricity, again, the electricity plays a crucial role. That electricity we are generating using renewable energy resources, such called the air pollution, and second one is called the second important aspect is nothing but the independence, the dependency on the fossil fuels. We are totally dependent on the fossil fuels, but these fossil fuels are not available in the upcoming years. Definitely, we need to address this challenge. And what are the advantages? Why we need to proceed to the electric vehicles? So already we have discussed about. So nowadays, the human beings are facing a lot of health issues, particularly the metropolitan cities such as Delhi, Bangalore. Lot of vehicles is traveling on the road that produces lot of emissions. Those emissions we need to eliminate, we need to address these problems. Definitely we need to decrease the dependency on the petroleum or petrol, and ultimately we need to promote the e-vehicles. These e-vehicles is not producing that much amount of the emissions. So ultimately overall emissions produced by these normal petrol vehicles is decreased, and that is directly or indirectly affecting the customer, affecting the people health. That is important. And air quality, we need to maintain the proper air quality, and particularly we are facing the problem the month of November and December. The air quality in most of the metropolitan cities are not up to the mark. So sometimes it is crossing even 500 AQA, even 600 also. So it is better to maintain in between 0 to 100. Then only the people are getting the proper, they are not facing any type of the health issues. So for addressing these challenges, definitely we need to promote the electric vehicles. Already government is taking a lot of initiatives. Why we need to promote the electric vehicles? And they are giving lot of subsidies, lot of subsidies related to the electric vehicles. So why they are giving these subsidies and they are changing the policies? Ultimately, they need to address the problems faced by the society. The need of electric vehicles. Already we have discussed the important need of the electric vehicles. This first one is called environmental concerns. What type of environmental issues we are facing? That we need to address properly. The second important aspect is the air quality. That is also important. What is the air quality? And third one is called energy security and efficiency of the resources and technological innovation. Already so many countries, they are already 30 to 40% vehicles on the road. They are called e-vehicles. But still in India, the progress is maybe 10% or 15%. At least by the year 2030 or 40, most of the vehicles that is running on the road, those are called e-vehicles. But what are the challenges we need to face? Up to now, we are discussing about the advantages and benefits of the e-vehicles. There should be certain challenges also. The important challenge, the first important challenge is nothing but again e-vehicle charging environment. So where we need to observe the charging station locations. That is important. Everywhere we are observe the petrol pumps. Easily customer will go to the petrol pump wherever the fuel is not available. Immediately immediately will go to the petrol pump and he will get the resources. But what is about the charging stations? How many places in the country we are observing the charging stations? So that is called technology innovation. We need to definitely focus about the number of charging stations that we need to locate at least in the highways. Every 10 kilometers, we need to observe some charging stations. And what are the policy initiatives that is required? Again, the challenge is whenever I'm using the electric vehicles, the demand of the electricity is increased. But how you can generate the electricity? Again, I cannot generate the electricity by using the conventional sources such as thermal power stations or nuclear power stations. I need to generate the electricity by using renewable energy resources, particularly the country like India. We are having almost 300 days. We are having a solar availability. That means the sun is available throughout 365 days. At least 300 days we are having a sunny days. So definitely I need to install number of solar panels on each of the rooftop of the houses and different places wherever the possibility of the solar power generation. And I need to address this challenge Again, the e-vehicles is required the electricity. That electricity I need to generate by using the renewable energy resources. So it is the benefits in terms of the environmental point of view, benefits in terms of the technological point of view, and job market. The third very important is about job market. Definitely after 5 years or 10 years, lot of job opportunities that is required related to the charging stations. Every charging station required quality engineer. So the charging stations are not simply run like a petrol pumps. We require the quality engineers. What is going on inside the charging station? What is the policies regarding the charging station, and how much electricity we required, and what is about the solar based charging stations? We are observing these challenges, these innovations in the upcoming years. So definitely the new market is coming, new ultimately the market is growing in terms of the electric vehicles. Ultimately, we are getting the new job opportunities in this particular technology also. Now, what is about the impacts? Up to now, we are discussing about what is the role of the electric vehicles, why we need to proceed, why we need to encourage the EV market, the country, what are the advantages we are getting, and what are the challenges we need to face, how to address these challenges. The first time talking about the impact of these electric vehicles in the power sector. Why these electric vehicles, what type of impact? Whenever suppose we are observing all the vehicles is replaced by the e-vehicles by the year 2040, for example, then what type of infrastructure I need to improve? What additional challenges I need to observe in case of the power sector? Particularly in power sector, the first challenge we are observed, that is called what? Electricity demand. So ultimately, whenever the number of e-vehicles are increased, that vehicle needs to be charged. Ultimately, I need to charge the vehicle. Then I need to travel up to 300 kilometers, 400 kilometers, according to the driving range of the vehicle. So different companies, they are having different vehicles, they are having different driving patterns, different driving ranges. Every vehicle is not running up to, once you can charge the vehicle, it is not going up to 400 kilometers. Some of the vehicles, they will, according to the battery capacity, according to the charging range of the battery, the vehicle traveling range is also depends. That means at least nowadays, so many companies, they are going, they are designed the vehicles up to these vehicles is one time you can charge the vehicle, it is moving up to 300 kilometers or 400 kilometers. But whenever the number of charging stations are increased, whenever we are having a n number of electric vehicles is coming to the market, the first challenge we are facing is called the electricity demand. What is the meaning of electricity demand? Ultimately, whenever I'm charging my vehicle, I need to get the electricity from the grid. So that means more electricity demand it is increased. Already see the challenges. Now we are facing the challenges, particularly in the month of May, June, and July. We are having the peak demand. That means everybody turning on their appliances, electrical appliances, such as air conditioners, such as so many different types of so many different types of uh, air conditioners. They are turning on this particular period of May, June, and July, and ultimately the demand of the electricity is it is increased sharply. Same time, if you are charging the electric vehicle, suppose I'm connecting n number of vehicles, and my vehicles are charging during this particular time. Now I am facing the challenge. How I need to how I need to supply this particular demand that e-vehicles is charging during this particular time. That is the first important impact that we need to observe. What is about the electricity demand? How the demand is increased? Whenever the demand is increased, what type of problems we are facing to the, that is electricity grid that is facing. Second, the second important is called load management. How effectively you are doing this load management? The simple example I can give it quoted here. For example, during the time of afternoon to 12 o'clock to evening 5 o'clock, everybody needs to turn on their AC. At the same time, I need to charge my vehicle. That creates lot of challenges to my grid. So during that time, I need to provide the different pricing patterns. Suppose customer is willing to charge the vehicle, e-vehicle, particularly during this particular time, maybe 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock. During this time, if the customer is willing to charge the vehicle, then he needs to pay the more price as compared to the whenever he is charging to the off peak hours. What is the meaning of off peak hours? During the off peak hours, there is no demand of the electricity. For example, take the example in the evening 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Maybe the climate is changed. Whenever the climate is changed, during that particular time, maybe the number of air conditioners or number of electrical appliances that is turning on this particular period is probably low as compared to the time of afternoon 12 o'clock to evening 5 o'clock. So during that particular time, you need to charge your vehicle. That is called off-peak hours. That means the demand of the electricity is low. That indicates the off-peak hours. Whenever the demand of the electricity is high, that is called peak hours. During the peak hours, if you are willing to charge your vehicle, during the peak hour, if you are willing to charge your vehicle, you need to pay the more amount of the suppose normally the charging suppose if you are charging the vehicle the price you need to pay is called example $10 the off peak time. Suppose during the peak time if you are charging your vehicle you need to pay $20. Then ultimately customer needs to think about I need to suppose if it is really it is not required I can charge my vehicle afterwards because there are different types of vehicles are there that is called office going vehicles or normal e-buses. These are running throughout the day. Maybe throughout the most of the time these vehicles are running. But some vehicles, suppose I'm having a customer, I need to travel I can travel in a specific time. According to that specific time, I can plan my charging scenario. I need to charge my vehicle now or I need to charge my vehicle during the off-peak hours. So if it is not urgent, I can charge my vehicle during the off-peak hours only. So during that, what is the benefit as a customer I am getting? I am getting the benefit of what? I need to spend less money whenever I'm charging my vehicle during the off-peak hour. In this way, you need to do the load management. In this way, you need to do the load management. What is that load management indicates here? So this is called load management. This load management is nothing but how effectively you can transfer the load or you can utilize the load. Suppose during peak time, I cannot charge my vehicle. During off-peak time, that is called off-peak hours. Every time the demand is not always peak. Sometimes the demand is not that much. During that time, I can charge my vehicle. The second important aspect is nothing but nowadays the technology is going vehicle to grid. For example, my vehicle is in the standstill position. I am not traveling anywhere. During the peak time, the electricity is transferred to the grid. That is called vehicle to grid. I can transfer the electricity. I can supply electricity to the grid. Again, I am getting the benefit. What benefit? Money. Whenever I am transferring the electricity during the peak time, I am getting is called time of use vehicle is traveling. What is about the charging and discharging patterns? What is about the load management? The second impact we are observing that is called load management. So how effectively you are utilizing the load and according to that you can charge your vehicle at what time you are charging that is required. Next, after that, yes. Now coming to the third important aspect that is called grid stability and resilience. What is meant by grid stability indicates. So whenever too many vehicles are connected to the grid, ultimately we need to talk about the system grid stability. The stability in terms of frequency, stability in terms of voltage stability, stability in terms of reactive power stability. That means whenever we are observing the day-to-day life, during the peak time, particularly in this particular summers, we are observing the voltage is fluctuating. What is the meaning of voltage fluctuating? As a customer, I required always 230 volts. But as a customer, I required how much? Always 230 volts. But every time I'm not getting 230 volts because of the fluctuations of the load. The load is total, the load is very high. During that time, if you are charging your vehicle, or if you are during that time, you are connected more number of loads. Ultimately, the affected parameters is called, the first one is called frequency, and second one is called grid stability, such as the stability in terms of what? Stability in terms of voltage fluctuations. So for that, if you want to counter react that voltage stability problem, I need to use voltage stabilizers. So that's why definitely in the summertime, most of the electrical equipments are damaged. Why it is damaged? Sometimes I'm getting the voltage is below 200 volts. Sometimes I'm getting voltage more than 250 or 260 volts. Whenever my voltage value is more than 260 or 270 volts, my equipment is damaged. If I'm not having a proper voltage regulating equipment. So that is the third important parameter. Whenever you are connecting more EVs, more number of charging stations you are connected to the existing power network. The third important impact that we need to observe, that is called grid stability. That means larger number of customers are connected, larger number of EVs are connected. During that time, you need to properly address how the frequency is affected, how to maintain the system frequency should be constant. Second one, how the grid stability is affected, the stability in terms of voltage, how the voltage fluctuating, how to control these fluctuations, what compensating equipment or voltage regulating equipment I need to add, and I need to maintain the voltage should be constant. That is the third important impact that we need to observe. That is called what? The grid stability and grid resilience. How the grid should be stable during these consequences. The fourth important aspect is called renewable energy integration. So now the fourth very is called important is called renewable energy integration. What is the meaning of renewable energy integration? Again, whenever more EVs is connected, I cannot generate electricity by using thermal power plants. I am having a limited sources of the thermal power generation because I am importing the coal from the other countries. According to the market of the, according to the dollar price, according to the scenarios and situations of the global market, I can import the coal, or sometimes I'm not able to import the coal because of the unavailability, because of the transport, unavailability of the transport facilities, unavailability of the market, power market, such as how much money I need to invest to import that particular coal. So to avoid these problems, I need to proceed with what? I can generate the electricity by the two important sources. One is called solar-based generation sources, and second one is called wind-based generation sources. So I can, by charging during this particular period, the extra electricity that is required during this EV charging, that electricity, that extra surplus electricity, the demand, that is supplied by using renewable energy resources, and I can store these electricity by using batteries or supercapacitors, or by using different types of the energy storage devices. So why I require storage devices? Because every time, suppose solar, after 12 o'clock solar is good. Sometimes because the environment is changed, I'm not able to generate the electricity whatever I'm expected. During that time, I can store some amount of the energy, the batteries and some supercapacitors, or whatever the storage devices that is required. I can store that energy by using those storage devices, and I can solve the problem of the intermittency. That means intermittency means unexpected situations, unexpected problems. So during this particular time, as a surplus energy, I can produce by using renewable energy resources. I can transfer that surplus energy wherever the demand is very high. Okay, that means the fourth important impact that we are observed during this particular EV integration, that is called renewable energy integration along its storage capability. Next, The fifth one is called infrastructure investment. This is very, very important. So what is about my current infrastructure? From past 40 to 50 years, I cannot change my transmission lines. I cannot change my distribution lines. I can do the same infrastructure from so many years. But again, I can simply integrating EVs. Most of the EVs, I can connect it to the distribution system. What will happen to my distribution network? I need to put proper investment in the electricity sector. Then only it is possible to integrate these EVs to the existing system. And this whenever I'm putting some investment in case of the EV charging stations establishment or battery swapping stations, definitely it creates the new economic development and job creation. What is the meaning of new job creation? Ultimately, wherever the wherever I want to create the new battery storage devices, I need to establish most of the units in the country by the battery storage devices. And how effectively you are designing the battery. What is about the battery management system? What is about the life of the battery? The one of the biggest challenge related to the EV that is called the battery management system. After every 5 to 6 years, the complete battery pack of the EV that we need to change. But a lot of research is going on in this particular sector, how they will improve the battery capability. Suppose in our home, whenever the electricity is gone, we are using inverter with the battery. What is the lifetime of the battery? Maybe 3 years or 4 years. After that, we need to change that particular battery or we need to do the lot of maintenance related to the battery. So here we can observe that simply you are integrating EVs, simply you are putting in, charging stations. That is not enough. We need to improve the infrastructure. We need to put proper investment money for producing the proper charging facility to the customer. Then only the customers are interested. They are moving towards to the EV market. Otherwise, suppose the customer is not finding suitable EV charging station facilities, he is not willing to purchase the EV. Even though you are producing number of EVs, but the customer requirement is what? Where I need to, wherever I want to travel, how many EV charging stations are available? The second important aspect is the time duration. How much time that is required? How much time that is required to charge the vehicle? Suppose it will take 4 hours to charge vehicle. The customer is not waiting that much time. He is not having that much time to wait up to 4 hours. For that, what is the solution? We require battery swapping stations. I need to change my battery. Already the charger, the complete charging of the battery is available. Just I need to swap the battery. Then I need to continue my journey. That creates a new job market. The second important impact, the next important impact is called decarbonization goals. That is important. Already we are signed on the Paris Agreement. What is the meaning of Paris Agreement? By the year 2040 or 50, my country needs to decrease this much amount of the pollution level, this much amount of the carbon footprints. I need to address the global warming issues, sustainable development goals. How to achieve these sustainable development goals? You need to achieve these goals by decreasing the dependency on the conventional vehicles, such as petrol or diesel based vehicles. You need to encourage the e-vehicles and you need to provide the suitable environment to travel the vehicles. Already the government is taking certain initiatives. Most of the metropolitan cities, after 5 years, we are not finding any type of the diesel or petrol vehicle. Most of the government based vehicles such as buses, we are observing everywhere is called e-buses. That creates the climate, that affects the climatic problems, that improves the air quality problems, that improves the air quality. The air quality index is improved in most of the metropolitan cities. That is called decarbonization goals. Next, policies and regulation. This is important. How effectively the government is changing the policies, how the customer is having the impact about these policies. already they are putting certain policies. Those who are purchasing the e-vehicles, they are having a, they will get the benefit in terms of the taxes. They are already putting a mandate that yes, if you are buying the e-vehicles, at least 1.5 lakhs to 2 lakhs, almost the money that you need to save in terms of the taxes. So that means then only the customers are proceed further to the e-vehicles. Okay. And we need to change the suitable regulations in terms of the power sector. We need to change the regulations in terms of the EV sector also. That creates the overall impact on the EV power sector, both the challenges and the opportunities. I'm not saying that everything is the advantage. There are certain challenges also. So that is challenges in terms of the EV operators, challenges in terms of the grid operators, challenges in terms of stakeholders. So how effectively you are addressing these challenges, then only the customers is proceed further. They are showing the interest towards the e-vehicles. Otherwise, they are not showing interest. So these are, see, you can observe that e-vehicles are now acceptable in the customer's point of view. Almost 148% growth we are observed. In March itself, we are observing 1,40,509 e-vehicles of 2 watts and 3 watts are sold the company in the market. In the Indian government is having a challenge at least 30% of the private cars and commercial vehicles, 80% by the year 2030. But up to what level we are achieving this target? But their government is already having a certain target. So definitely they need to proceed about these targets. Next, see, on an average, 5.7 kilowatt of the per day electricity, but one Tata Nexon e-vehicles is required 40.5 kilowatt hour capacity of the battery consumes 6 to 7 households alone. That means huge demand of the EV. Whenever the number of EVs is increased, that definitely there is a huge demand that is also increased. But we are ready to accept this challenge or not. That is important. And charging of the EVs is again creates lot of burden on the grid. That means already grid is facing certain challenges on the burden. Whenever the number of vehicles is increased, that creates further challenge to the electricity market, electricity power grid. Okay. Now you can observe that what type of negative impacts that we need to observe whenever this EV charging. Okay. The first is called voltage instability. Already we are discussing what is the meaning of voltage instability. Customer is getting voltage challenges, voltage problem challenge. That means what? Always their voltage is fluctuating. Their voltage is drops. So, and the customer, if you are not providing suitable equipment, suitable voltage regulating equipment, that leads voltage instability, and the customer is facing lot of voltage fluctuation problem. That is one of the important challenge. EVs consumes more power in a very short time if they want to charge the vehicle. So unwanted problems we are observing. So we need to address these unwanted problems as quick as possible. The second important, overloading of distribution network components. Whatever the transformers that is available now, we need to change the capability of the transformers. We need to increase the rating of the transformers. Whatever the lines, the distribution lines is available, those distribution lines is not enough to handle the penetration of the EVs. That means more EVs you are connected, at one point there is a possibility of damaging that distribution lines. Equipment damage we need to observe. Transformers is not capable. Maybe the transformers is also damaged. Lines is also damaged. So definitely we need to put certain investment in case of the infrastructure in terms of increase the capability of the lines, increase the transformer ratings that needs throughout the country, that requires huge money that we need to invest in case of the distribution network, in case of the power system network. The third, that is called harmonic distortion. Harmonic means heat, frequency problem, disturbances And because of these harmonics, your lifetime of the equipment is decreased. Suppose any company, they are giving the warranty period is 10 years. And whenever the harmonics is produced, harmonics means unwanted signals, unwanted problems, unwanted frequency. That creates power loss problems. That creates voltage problems. That creates, there is a possibility of cables are damaged. That creates finally the overall lifetime of the equipment is decreased. That is about the third important observation. And fourth one, what is the ways to minimize? Up to now, we are discussing about what type of challenges that we are facing whenever we are connecting EVs, what type of advantages we are getting while we are connecting the EVs, and what is the ways, how as an engineer, as a power system engineer, or as an electrical engineer, how to address these challenges. That is called smart charging, smart algorithms. We need to use the technology of programming. We need to use the technology of the smart algorithms, smart communication system. So at what time the customer is getting the least demand, during that time automatically the EV should be charged. And we are giving incentives to the customer also. So we are sending messages to the customer also. If you are if you're charging your vehicle during this particular time, you will get this particular benefit. Ultimately, customer is interested because he is getting benefit in terms of the money. Smart charging. What is the meaning of smart charging? Smart charging of the vehicle. During the smart charging, the vehicle is charged at what time? During off-peak time. What is the meaning of off-peak time? Whenever the demand is not too much high, during that time, your vehicle needs to be charged automatically. Whenever the demand is very low, yes, vehicle needs to be charged. But whenever the demand is very high, at that time your vehicle does not charge. It should be automatically going to the discharging mode. That creates the new algorithms, proper charging algorithms. When the vehicle needs to be charged, when the vehicle needs to be discharged. This is a simple diagram. You can observe that this is the grid and this is the electric vehicle, and when it needs to be go to the grid to vehicle, G2V. What is the meaning of G2V? G2V is called grid to vehicle. And what is about second important aspect is called vehicle to grid. What is the meaning of vehicle to grid? If the vehicle is not traveling, it is having a source, I can transfer the electricity from the vehicle to the grid. During off-peak time, I can get the electricity from the grid to vehicle. That is called smart charging. And ways to minimize EV impact, integration of renewable energy resources, that is important. Now, recently the government is initiated every rooftop of the solar panel, every home, they require the solar panel, and government is giving subsidy about the solar panels. They will generate their own electricity. That reduces the burden of the power grid. Whenever I can generate my own electricity, you are not getting electricity from the grid. You are supplying electricity to the grid. I can generate my own electricity by using solar, and I can integrate this electricity to the grid. Ultimately, my grid is not facing any type of the burden. That is also one of the important ways to minimize the EV impact on the power grid. And finally, I can proceed to the overall conclusion. What is about the overall conclusion? So definitely in upcoming years, the number of vehicles that is traveling on the road is increased very drastically. Whenever the number of vehicles is increased drastically, that creates lot of climatic problems. That creates the air quality problems. That creates the lot of other health issues. And second important aspect is year by year, whatever the electricity we are generating by using thermal power stations, that is not possible to generate in the upcoming years. Why? Already the availability of the coal is decreased day by year by year. encourage both encourages the sustainable development that decreases the sustainable related problems, and it increases the greater future. And the collaboration between this is not only possible with only with the government. So lot of private investors, private sector people, they are already willing to play, they are already willing to spend money, and they are establishing the EV charging stations throughout the country. And ultimately, the customers are automatically moving towards to the electric vehicles. So that creates so many challenges. As engineers, we need to address these challenges. What type of challenges? Problems, voltage stability problems, power loss problems. So all these the field of as well as renewable energy resource. So finally, the overall conclusion is nothing but so if after 10 years the EV market country is rising like anything. So definitely we need to provide suitable infrastructure, and we need to encourage the EVs. Finally, we need to address the problems that is faced by the society, the pollution as well as the other aspects. Okay, the other countries. Definitely we need to think about this very important topic. So what type of challenges we need to observe, what type of how we need to address these challenges in upcoming years. Okay. This is the overall conclusion of my today's presentation, and these are the references. Any queries and any other discussions from your side? So I can address those queries also.
Thank you so much, Dr. Suresh. So it was wonderful watching you talking on need of electrical vehicles, impact of electrical vehicles in power sector, renewable energy integration, infrastructure investments, and more from our expert, Dr. Suresh. So now I would request to the admission nominee, Mr. Ajmer Singh, to be on the screen. Over to you, Mr. Ajmer.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dalvinder ma'am. Okay, good afternoon, everyone, once again. I'm here to let you know that what kind of career opportunity you can choose, what kind of option you can select, and what are the things which are available with us at Lovely Professional University, right? If we talk about the LPU, why LPU? First, it's about the accreditations, right? We have very good accreditation. If I talk about by Ministry of Education, there is a top accreditation which we call it the NAC. NAC is the National Assessment and Accreditation Council, which grade the different colleges and university with the different grades, depend upon their infrastructure, depend upon their studies, depend upon other things also. And we are happy that we have A++ with the 3.68 score on a 4-point scale. So also, if I talk about other accreditation and approval, we have the accreditation council for business school, and we have the NAC accreditation, we have the UGC accreditation and approval. So here we have the National Council for Teacher accreditation and approval. With this, we also have the Council of Architecture. We have the Pharmacy Council of India. Clear. So list is huge. There are many. Bar Council of India we have, right? So you can check all these accreditations also on the website. Their proof is available and other things are also available. If we talk about, we are also the member of the Association of Indian University. We are also the member of the International Association of the University, right? So also we are the member of the Institute of Engineers, right? So these are all the memberships. If we are talking about more ranking and award to the Lovely Professional University, we recently get the 23rd rank among the top universities. So in the world university ranking, clear. And where if we look at the segment wise ranking, we are second in the business and economics, we are sixth in the engineering, we are eighth in the clinical and the health, we are ninth in the computer science, and 12th in the life sciences, and many more. right? So we also have the Woody ranking. We are second in the Woody ranking. So yeah, we also have the Atal ranking. So yeah, we got third rank in the Atal ranking of institute and innovation, right? Now, if I talk about the extracurriculum activities, right? I think you all have seen the news that out of our 12, uh, 13 participants, 12 got the gold medals. There is one gold, okay, one silver, and two bronze medal. Okay. We also have, uh, we can say 37 in 37 national inter university youth festival. We are the champion. We scored the first rank. Okay, under the different, you can say, region: music, dance, theater, fine arts. Okay. We also scored first runner up in the Makka Sports. The Makka Sports is very popular and very renewed. It is, we can say, hosted by Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. Okay. And we also have uh, the ranking in the 19th Asian game. Okay. Now, these are few, you can say, infrastructure highlights. We have the open auditorium. We have the indoor auditorium with almost 2,500 plus capacity. We, we have the high-tech labs for computer. You are able to see the Mac lab video. We have high-tech library or very wide variety of subject and books are available there. Clear. We have the good infrastructure. Clear. We have a mall inside the campus. Clear. You can get your daily need things inside the campus only. You don't need to move outside the campus. We have a very large scale gym inside the campus only. Clear. We have gaming, indoor gaming. Clear. We have the hospitals also inside campus only for the different checkup. Okay. So we have almost 50-bed hospitals. Okay. And we are also, as Dr. Say is talking about the electric vehicle. Okay. We also have the solar panels. Okay. We are getting our own, generating our own renewable energy. Okay. So this is the, you can say, wider photo of the university campus. Okay. And this is the less green environment here. And every building, every school, every you can say discipline has its own blocks and its own you can say classrooms and other you can say facilities available, right? We have indoor sports courts. You're able to see the badminton or else shooting range also. We have clear basketball court. We have swimming pool. We have clear. These all facilities are available inside the indoor stadiums. So this is a big area. So we have indoors. Now let's go live. I just take few minutes of yours and I will show you that how you can explore the website, how you can see that what kind of options are available in the lovely professional university. Okay. Okay. So if you want to go to LPU website, it's a simple URL lpu.in. Okay, simple unit type. You will land on our official website. Okay, and in this, under the admission, you can explore the different programs. Right now, if right now you are looking for the after 12th program, you can see regular program, honors program, and other things also. You want to see the detail for each and every program, you can click on regular program, and then further you can select your qualification. If it is 12th, you can see that program. You can change to 10 diploma graduation as per your requirement. Then you can select the discipline. Okay. Right now, if we are looking at the engineering discipline, you can select engineering also. And in engineering, we have the different discipline. Okay. As sir is talking about the electric vehicle design, clear, you can go to the EC stream also. Okay. In EC, we have the BTech Electronics and Communication Engineering. And in this BTech EC, you have the different opportunities, clear, where you can choose your pathways. Like I'm looking at the curriculum for this particular program. and you can scroll down, you can see the semester wise subject which you are going to teach, which you are going to get in this university. And moreover, there are the engineer minors, language elective also. And here is the pathway elective which we are talking about, the electric vehicle design. If you are really interested to this pathway, and you can choose for this course, and you will get the opportunity to learn the new technology related to this field. Okay, so this is one way how you can explore the different program. This is one example. Let's suppose if you make up your mind and you want to apply for the university. Clear? So generally, for BTech program, the eligibility is with some 60% marks in your 12th, and with this you need to qualify some of the entrance exam. Clear? But in most of the program, the LPU Nest is the entrance exam. We are getting admission based on the JE also and other exam also. So in detail, you can see the website, but I will tell you a simple steps that how you can apply for LPU Nest. You simply go to the website on the top here. Clear? You are able to see the LPU Nest. Click here, and for whatever the program you want to apply the LPU Nest, you scroll, you select that program. You want to go for engineering, BTech, MTech, diploma, you want to go for management, you can select that, PhD, hotel management, you can scroll all the program available. Let's suppose in our case, we want to apply for BTech, I can click here, BTech. Okay. Once I click on BTech, it land me on the new page where I can apply for my program. Here also you have the information. What are the BTech program offers? What are the eligibility criteria? What are our placement records for a particular program? Syllabus for the test. What you need to prepare? How you can score good? Clear? And then process how to apply, right? And you can simply click on this page, apply and login. So it will ask you to do a simple registration with your name, email ID, and mobile phone, and you will get a OTP to verify your mobile phone, and here you go. Right? So this is all, but the basic idea. You may have a number of queries, and you are free, you are open to ask. Okay? I request Dalvinder ma'am, if we have any queries in the chat section, we can take that. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Ajmer Singh. So can we take questions, Dr. Suresh and Mr. Ajmer? As I can see, there's some
Yes, sure.
questions from participants. Now let's, thanks for giving me a chance to address your questions. And now let's start with the question number first. Megha is asking here, how do electrical vehicles contribute to a cleaner power sector? Mr. Dr. Suresh.
Yes, ma'am. Repeat once.
Yeah, please.
How to repeat the question?
Sure, sir. How do electrical vehicles contribute to a cleaner power sector?
Yes. Generally, whenever we are talking about the IC-based vehicles, in IC-based vehicles, there is a possibility of the more pollution in case of the EVs. So we are not using first of all petrol or diesel. The input is only electricity here in the case of the EVs. But in case of IC-based vehicle, the input is petrol or diesel. Ultimately, it produces more pollution. Coming to the batteries point of view also, just we are using one battery pack, that battery pack as well as the motor, and the input is just electrical input, and the petrol is, and ultimately the whatever the CO2 emissions or SO2 emissions, that should be very less in case of the electric vehicle as compared to the IC based vehicle.
Thank you so much, Dr. Suresh. Mr. Ajmer, someone is asking here, do LPU provide residential facilities also?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, we have a residential campus also. We have almost 8+ boys hostel and 6 girls hostel also. We have different options in the residential also. You can opt for the 4-seater hostel. You can opt for the 3-seater, 2-seater, 5-seater, 6-seater also. We also have the apartments also. You can opt for the apartment also. It's depend upon your interest.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Mr. Ajmer and Dr. Suresh. I hope all the participants got the answers from our experts. As we come to the end of this webinar, I want to express my deepest gratitude to our experts for sharing their valuable insights and expertise with us. Your presence, enthusiasm, and active participation have made this experience truly special. Hopefully, the attendees found this webinar to be valuable and will be able to utilize the information for better decision making regarding your admissions. If anyone wants to access this webinar, again, they can visit our website, that is lpu.in, or can be accessed on YouTube also. Stay connected with us for future webinars. Until we meet again, with the permission of my seniors, I would be signing off this webinar. Take care and goodbye. Have a beautiful day.